thing of John, that he pushed the boundaries of every single thing that he did.
And then, of course, he includes the Aboriginal section as well in Brisbane, which he also did in Melbourne. So he's creating, you know, he's positioning and Australian art in a way that you know, would be internationally positioned, and so it becomes really important in those ways, I think.
And there is an amazing conclusion to the art of Central Australia, which was a collection that John curated, and that ended up, after Philip Bacon carefully looked after it for quite a number of years, that ended up in the Convention Centre in Brisbane. And from that, they then built up an amazing collection of Indigenous art that is populated right throughout the expanded Convention Centre. And the original collection ended up in what was called the G20 room, Denise. And all the G20 leaders went into that particular room. And the story gets even more interesting, because after the G20 was completed, the room was then given the moniker of the G20 room, and has gone on to be quite an established sort of a tourist icon in the city. And a former Deputy Lord Mayor, a fellow called David Hinchcliffe, who has featured in our YouTube list, he recently made some fairly significant donations of Indigenous art to the Cultural Centre, which is just across the way, just across Grey Street. And that then led me to do a little petition to leverage up the value of the G20 room and David's work and the amazing Indigenous collection within the Convention Centre, because the new theatre is going to have an Indigenous theme, and I just thought it should be stock solely of Indigenous artwork, right down to the design of the carpet. So, you know, visionary input goes over decades, and it pops up in all sorts of amazing locations. Anyway, I got off the track there, Denise, so sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's John with Expo. Said, you know, that he wanted art to sit beside science and technology. That is a type of, you know, the whole of a culture, but the importance of art and the notion of the mixing the sculptures, you know, which we could call high art, with the human factor figures, which are wonderful in their accessibility, but also, you know, he made the Nigel Triffitt sculptures as well, the Voyage of Discovery, and some of those others. The one that was what I call a businessman's toy, the circles within the circles within.
Yes.
You know, apparently Dan Flannery saw him buy that in a shop in LA. And then comes back and gets it made into a moving object, so to speak. You know, and of course we haven't talked about his love of robotics.
True.
And
So
you've got robotics there.
What we might do there, Denise, is again break off.
Needs that, you know, and in a sense, with Gough Whitlam dying yesterday, the thing that seems to be that he was very necessary at that time and pushed everybody out of their skin. And that was politically the case. Paid a price for it. Brett Whiteley paid a price for it, and John paid a price for it, and didn't last as long as he should. Because in fact, the thing that they do is that they live 80 years in 40.
Your role and your job you've currently got, and I hope the little bit that we've done over the last few years has helped your cause.
Oh, look, it has, Peter. You've opened it up for me, and and given me access to people, and I'm really grateful for that.